Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah Nasser. I am a local realtor, and here I talk about all things real estate and life in Oklahoma. Today I am breaking down the good, the bad, and even the ugly of living in Oklahoma. And just for context, I moved here when I was 7 years old from Saudi Arabia, and I've grown up here. I've built a life here, and now I'm raising a family of my own. So let's get into it. All right, so let's start with the good, because there is a lot to love about Oklahoma. Let's start with the cost of living. And as I've mentioned before, and I'm sure you probably already know, Oklahoma is one of the cheapest places to live here in the States. And so my favorite thing to talk about is how you can buy a home and it not drain every penny you have. And so yeah, y'all know I love that. And if you love space, we have land for days here. You can have the big backyard for your kids to run around, or you can move the tiny house onto a couple of acres and start your homestead. But you can make either one happen here. And I know it sounds cliche, but people really are kind here. It really does feel like a community, like you know people. Like if you get stuck with running out of gas, you will rely on people to come and help you push your car. It's really nice to kind of feel that warm vibe around. The food scene here is slept on. We've got Mexican food, authentic and Tex-Mex. We have seafood, soul food, and my personal favorite, barbecue. And as a mom, I have got to say, there's something beautiful about how faith and family are at the center here. We're not perfect, but there is a shared value here. But maybe for people who don't like living in the Bible Belt, this could be perceived as a negative thing. Now let's get into the bad. One thing you'll notice fast is the weather is wild. You can go from tornado watches to an ice storm to 105-degree weather, and sometimes all in 1 week. But don't you worry, we are going to be ready. I know from the moment I moved here and started first grade, we were having tornado drills at school. You knew what was going to happen and where to go. And also, you definitely cannot miss the weekly Saturday at noon drills. They will go off, and no matter where you are in the city, you will hear them. Another thing I would consider not that great is public transportation. There just isn't enough, and you just have to drive here. And sometimes if you're in that really small town, you're 45 minutes from the nearest Walmart. Also, traffic. Yeah, it can be a hassle, especially in busier cities like where I am in Edmond, where it's mainly red light stop sign traffic. And don't get me started on the roads. The potholes are basically landscape at this point. Okay, time for the ugly. Income inequality and poverty are still major issues in some parts of Oklahoma. I'll see it in some of the neighborhoods that I walk through, and some of them just feel forgotten, especially with large amounts of stray animals running around. And as an animal lover, that part really breaks my heart. All of the shelters are full, constantly having to euthanize animals, and some families just can't handle any more animals. The education system. This one hurts. And as a mom, I want the best for my daughter, and it's frustrating knowing how underfunded the public schools are. And you can find a good school, but it's a hit or miss depending on where you live. And I'll be honest, like I said I would be, racism and cultural ignorances can still be felt here. As a Palestinian woman married to a Mexican man, we felt both the warmth and the cold. Oklahoma has come a long way, but we still have work to do. Sometimes it's just small-minded people, and other times it's just the lack of exposure to other cultures. So, would I still choose to live here knowing all of this? Absolutely. Oklahoma is not perfect, no place is, but it's home. It's where I've learned to hustle, it's where I've found my faith, it's where I am building a life for my family. Every place has its pros and cons, but when you learn how to make it work for you, Oklahoma can be a great place to plant roots. And as you know, your grass is greener where you water it. So if you're thinking about moving here at some point, or just want the real deal on life in Oklahoma, all of the insights on real estate, hit that like and subscribe button and stick around for more videos like this one. And I will see you in the next one.